I'm going to replace this Garmin little camera with a front and rear Vantru camera in this 2009 Ram. I figured I'd show you guys how it's hooked up so you can see how simple it can be to put one in. This one's just powered off a 12-volt power outlet. Some Rams have them down in these areas, some have them right here. But the wires are easily ran up over the headliner. You just stick it in there and then down into the pillar, and then you go all the way down it, just stuffing it up under this rubber. Getting it out with one hand. And you continue on down. You can keep going down through here. You can lift up this sill. But mine just comes right back across into the floor mat. And then up and into the plug. So it can be that easy to semi-install one that's not hardwired. I'm going to hardwire the next one in, and I'll make a video about that for you. Hey guys, getting ready to install a Vantru front and rear camera in this 2009 classic body style Ram. All the fuses on this particular truck are under the hood. On my 2020 Ram, which I made a video installing the same camera, there's a fuse box back under here that I tapped into with a fuse tap kit. Well, you got two choices. If all the fuses are under the hood and you want to use a fuse tap kit, you could run a wire all the way from under the hood through the firewall, or you can find a always hot wire, since I want this on all the time for the parking camera, and tap into that. So that's the back of the onboard too. To remove this plastic piece, you take these two screws out of the bottom, and then it just pulls off with snap connectors. It'll still be attached by the wires, but I put my prong on the red wire with the white stripe, and that one was hot. I got my ground clamped up there, and I got in on this side and waited until the dome lights went out and everything to make sure that wire was still going to be hot, and it is. So what I'm going to do is use one of these quick tap things I got from a Harbor Freight type store. 3M makes them and sells them on Amazon. You might be able to get these on there too. But you basically slide your whole wire through that end. It slips in, and then you put the one you want to mate to it through this, and you push this down and clip it closed, and you tap into a wire with no cutting or soldering or anything. And they're extremely reliable. I've never had one of them fail on me. So I am going to use the battery saver from a fuse tap kit that will plug in and power my thing and keep my battery from dying on that always on wire if it gets below 11 volts, I think it is. So I'm going to get that clamped into that wire, since it's still 12 volts with the dome lights off and everything. And then I'll show you how we run the wires after that. Alright, I cut a little bit of wire, tape back, and got the quick tap on there with the red wire for my battery saver. It came with a fuse tap kit, about I think 15 bucks on Amazon. Then this ground wire I'm going to attach where the screw holds the plastic knee bolster back on, because that's where I used my voltmeter and it had a good ground. So when I put this back, I'm just going to stick this under it and have the screw hold it in place. Just like on my 2020 over there, and then I'll put the Garmin on my Jeep over there. So if you're interested in stuff happening in any of these vehicles, please subscribe, because anything I do to them, I'm going to try to record it and add it to this. So it's going to be all the same way. The only thing on the 2020 video, I didn't put how I put the back camera. I went from the camera, came down here, all the way along here, and then under the sills, and then up behind the back seat, and I put the camera behind the headrest back there. And you don't want to go up here. I had a 2017 and someone hit it and totaled it, but there's airbags up here that come out depending on the vehicle you have. So just stay away from it and go along the floor if you're moving to the back of the vehicle with any wiring. Cleaned the windshield real good and got this stuck up here. this black textured stuff's in the middle of the glass or something. You can't feel it at all. It's completely smooth here, so it should stick really good. Plus, this is going to help block sun from getting on the camera and heating it up. Just make sure your lens comes out below it if you do something like this. This is the wire for the mirror, so I still got to run my wires yet, but I figured I'd just show y'all where I put it. Make sure you clean the window really good before you stick it. And on this particular one, you can slide it up and then remove it. So if yours is like that, make sure you don't stick it somewhere where you won't be able to slide it up and remove it. I'll stick it back up there when I got two hands. So I plugged the camera in, and hey, see, what's up, YouTube? So I plugged the camera in before I run the wire. And the reason I do this is after you run the wire from the camera, you can zip tie all your slack together down under the dash instead of having a ball of slack up there by the camera. So plug it into the camera, run your wires through the headliner and down your pillar, then zip tie all the loose in a bunch down here and put it back under the dash with this. I used some 3M automotive tape and double stick taped the battery saver behind the place I tapped into. And then the ground's still unhooked until I screw this back up there, but that's what I'm doing now. I just left this out of the last one, but I figured I'd show you guys just because it seems like it's so easy. No one really would believe how easy it is. You just take this wire and stuff it in a gap up here, and it just disappears. That easy with one hand while you Facebook or whatever you do with your phone on the other hand. That was a little tight right there, so that'll hold it real good. Then once you get down here, this part could take two hands, and I probably will use two hands, but you just push it down behind the plastic and then keep going and down behind this rubber. All right, so I got it all put up under the headliner, through the pillar, down under the rubber here, and I am coming out right there. And I'm just gonna bunch this together and zip tie it. I'm gonna connect it to this stuff so it's all in a group right there. That way not flopping around everywhere. And then I'll put my ground in place when I screw the thing back on. And that'll be done. If you just had a front facing camera, that's all there is to it. But then after I get that hooked up, I'm gonna hook up the wire and the back camera going down that pillar, down along the bottom, along the floor, and then back up behind the headrest back there. Back headrest, and clean the window really good. We're not smokers or anything. My wife just never cleans her windows apparently. I don't know if you can see how big of a difference there is, but I just cleaned this window. That's like dirt from 2009. That's just from this little square window that was like that before. It don't look that bad, but yeah. Clean your windows, people. And fog sticks to all that dirt. Your windows won't fog up so bad if you clean them. The way you remove the headrest, you raise it up with this one. Then once it's all the way up, you push them both in. There's one right here too. Then you can take the headrest off, clean your windows, stick cameras to them or whatever. Another thing, when you go to wire the back one, start from that camera. Oh yeah, my power all worked good. The ground that I used and the wire I tapped into, the camera's on. You can see it lit. But the screen's programmed to turn off after 1 minute, so it's not distracting while you're driving. And same thing with this. This is like a red light, and it faces into the truck. So if you put it behind your headrest, that won't be bothering you at night when you're looking in your mirror. But if you have it up here, you'll probably get a better view. And I guess you could put some black tape over it or something, but I just don't like stuff in my view, so I put it behind the headrest. But if you did want like more of a view of what's behind you in your camera, definitely you could put it up higher. Be aware of which way your window slides. Ours goes this way, same on my other truck, but you don't want it to slide into your camera. So put it on the side that it's not going to slide into. And also if you put it in the middle, you know, it'll move with the window, so you can't do that. So just pick the side your window's not going to slide on, and start the wire from the front camera. And then whatever slack you have, you can bundle up and zip tie it behind the seat back here where it's out of the way and no one sees it. we're working on running the wire to the back camera. It's already up in the headliner, just the other way the other one was, through here, down here, and we got it coming out here. I used a trim removal tool to pry up under this, and it just snaps down. This is where your jack goes. This just snaps off if it's in your way and you want to pull it off. This here I leave in place and I just push it under there. You can get your fingers under there almost so you can see that the wire just shuts down. But this one, because of the transfer from here to under this and all that, I just don't like screwing with it, so I actually pull this up. And that's about as far up as you need to get it, I guess. It's all one piece here, but I just lift it up this far so that I can get that wire underneath there. And then I go on to here and up under this side of this. And then in the back, you'll have the same thing. Keep stuffing it under there. And this one you can just lift up the same way I did as the other side. And just keep bringing your wire up behind here until it's behind the seat and you can't see it no more. And up into your camera. Spirit fingers. Alright, so now it's all down here. It goes under this, and then that's where it comes under this. This is still not snapped back down yet. All you do is push that. It snaps back down, so now your wire is completely hidden under all this. I got OCD, I don't really like that, but I don't know. It might have been like that before, I have no idea. And then so far I got to here. It's pushed under there, and then just keep pushing it under this. I don't take this off at all. Did the same thing here. I pried this up with my little pry bar. Let's snap it back down now. The wire's under it. The wire comes up here. I didn't pry up any of this at all. I just stuffed it in there with my fingers. Came all the way up behind the seat. Plugged it into my camera. There's the red light I was talking about. Put the extra wire just down behind the seat. These don't recline or anything. There's no worry about it getting messed up with. So that's all done. The camera's installed. There's the front one. There's the back one. Just got to put the headrest back on. All I do is slide it back in there. Push the buttons to get it down. And then the camera, the screen isn't going to show up really good because video and screens isn't easy on the show. But the little, oh, that's better. The little top corner is the back camera. And the speed is listed right there. It has a GPS built into the camera. And then you got your date and your time. You can set it to record your voice, and the voice recorder works really good. You can hear everything you're saying in the vehicle. And you can change the view to just the front camera, just the back camera, or them both. But no matter what, it records both all the time, and it records them separately. It's a whole view of the back camera and a whole view of the front camera. And then you can set this to time out after however long, and it'll keep recording, but the screen will go blank. And you'll know it's recording because these lights will still be flashing. And even when the car's off, when it's in parking mode, it'll record for like 30 seconds if it senses movement. But there'll be some lights illuminated on this all the time, no matter what. That's why I wanted to have the battery saver on there, even though I didn't use the fuse tap. I know with what I did, this is no longer a fuse system. I'm assuming the wire I tapped into that's built into the vehicle has a fuse, but the power thing that they give you to plug into a 12 volt isn't fused neither. So I'm not too worried about it, but if you want to do it exactly like I did, plus add an inline fuse right there after you tapped into it, I mean, you can never be too safe. But see, the screen just timed out. Well, I hope this helped you guys out. And if you want to see more videos about my Jeep, I put a onboard air system in my truck. I still got to do a video for my 2020. Pretty proud of how it came out. It's all mounted up under the front bumper. And there's where you hook up your air line. And it's got an air horn now too. So look forward to putting that video out too pretty soon. So thanks all for watching. Take care.